Now you have to break the habits. In the previous video, what I've mentioned are like the parts of a car that you gotta assemble in order to make the car. But imagine the road is full of potholes, which are your bad habits that is preventing you from driving as smooth and as fast as you could have, no matter how powerful engine or good habit you've integrated in your life. So let me share how you can break these habits. By first, by discovering your purpose. By knowing your purpose, the bad habits can be broken much more easily than any of the points I've mentioned. Most of the people are purposeless in life, for which they make it up by distracting themselves with the endless scrolls or just playing games. When you know your purpose, you realize you can't give a shit to these things, and it makes you grounded for the thing you're trying to achieve. As if you can't afford to spend your time on the bad habits because now you're accountable to your purpose. When you have a clear purpose in life, you're less likely to engage in activities that detract from achieving it. It also makes it easier to distinguish between actions that align with your purpose and those that don't. Bad habits typically conflict with this, and so a clear sense of purpose helps you prioritize behaviors that serve your goals. And because this behavior try to fill uh, a void inside you, to realize that your purpose fills it with more constructive habits that also lead to happiness and fulfillment in life. Unlike the habits of gaming, purpose also acts like purpose is just, if you've discovered your purpose, you've figured out 60% of your life. Just that's it. I'm saying, I'm betting my life on it. And purpose also acts as a motivational driver. Drive, yes, driver. It gives you a reason to push through a discomfort or temptation because you know your actions are serving a larger goal. Without the purpose, it's easier to fall back into old habits since there is no strong why to resist them, which ends up building your willpower. Moreover, a clear purpose helps you to bounce back from your failures. Bad habits are often hard to break and people relapse, but with the purpose, you're more likely to see these as temporary setbacks and you keep striving toward your goals. It's as if even if you do the bad habit, you can't afford to experience the guilt and care about them that comes along when you do and indulge in a bad habit. Like as if you can't let your mind get caught up in time wasting dwelling of the past actions, which is a good thing. I mean, having a degree of guilt and shame for the bad habit is appreciable because you would then resist the urge later. But come on, feeling sorrow for yourself in the pity potty isn't going to help you at all with it. You've got shit to do. Your purpose makes it somewhat easier to move on from the bad habits, guilds, even if you have done it. Bro, discovering a purpose, I told you, is just a cheat code. With all the points I've mentioned, you should be, you should discover a purpose. The second point is by being mindfulness, practicing mindfulness. This can be one of the most significant way of breaking the bad habit after discovering your purpose. By being mindful, you become more aware of the triggers and the reward that keep the bad habit going and repeating in your life. This awareness allows you to observe your urges and cravings without immediately acting on them, providing a space between the trigger and the response and buys you time to think and act rather than just reacting mindlessly to the urge, when the trigger hits you. Because regular practice of mindfulness has shown to increase activity in areas of brain associated with self-regulation and decreases activity in the regions responsible for cravings and habitual behaviors. This rewiring of the brain supports the breaking of the old habits which comes by automatically by yourself, and the formation of the healthy ones also is done by it. When you're mindful, you can notice the craving for the reward, but also see that it doesn't bring lasting satisfaction, as you can see through the bad habit that you're doing. It feels good, but you're not enjoying it, are you? This recognition, this recognition weakens the bad habit's power over time. And so, how do you become more mindful? Of course, by meditation. Meditation is all about, and I highlight this one. Just please all about choosing a point to focus on. Can be a breath or smell of the air, anything your wish. And then when you get distracted, you realize it, and then you bring back your attention to this particular point of focus that you have set yourself in the meditation session. And this particular realizing and bringing back your focus gives the benefits. That's all. That's it. Just done. People complain that, oh man, but I can't keep myself focused. Well, of course, dude, it's because we are humans. Even the monks with 30, 40, even 60 years of meditation can't blank their mind. Like, how then you expect and think yourself to focus entirely on the one point across the meditation session and like just blanking your mind out? Like, this is not just possible, it's not possible. But realizing and then bringing back the focus on the point you're trying to focus on, you train your brain to be more mindful. And so next time when you get distracted when meditating, consider yourself lucky for the opportunity that has arrived you, where you can refocus on the point and become more mindful. One more way is to do NSDR, which is called non-sleep deep rest. If you find meditation too of a burden to do, NSDR is just like similar to body scans, but it's just more relaxing. I'll provide a link to a session of NSDR below description box by Dr. Andrew Huberman. The third point is by changing your self-image. You can also stop the bad habits by changing your self-image, like I've said. Watch the video on how I've told you how you can construct your ideal self-image. You'll just find it in my channel if you search for it. By changing your self-image to an image where you do no bad habit, it also increases the chances of the bad habit to just fade away. To start, you start disassociating yourself from the bad habit and no longer see them as a part of you, but rather something that is you don't do it at all, which is deeply powerful. And the hack to just leave the bad habits for good. For a long time, you've seen yourself as a person who eats the bad food, but when you change your self-image, that you're no more that kind of person, eventually that belief conquers over that ingrained circuit behaviors of your brain within you, which constantly led you to indulge in the bad habit. By shaping your self-image to a positive and a healthy person, you're more likely to make choices of that healthy and positive person, like avoiding unhealthy habits. Obviously, the fat people try to be healthy, but they fail all because he just sees himself as a fat. But the fit people just see themselves as fit. That's why they're fit. The only difference between the fat and fit is just their self-image and the habits that align with their image. Just your self-image can alone think about it, can alone decide whether you will be a successful person or not. Now you want to take this seriously. To achieve and sustain success, you must reshape your self-image to reflect who is someone capable and deserving of that success. No matter how hard you try to achieve success, if your self-image is that of a unworthy, incapable, defeating mindset, you will subconsciously you will yourself sabotage your efforts without even you coming to realize and know that this is inevitable and you can't avoid it. It's inevitable. So when breaking a habit, your self-image should evolve to include a new healthier behavior for it to become a natural part of you, making a healthy habit to execute without any efforts compared to your early self struggling to do the bad good habits. The fourth and the last step is to change your environment. By merely changing your environment, you can significantly reduce the bad habits. Excuse me. Oh my god. Bad habits are often linked to specific environments or trigger. By changing your surroundings, you reduce the exposure to those triggers, making it easy to avoid the bad habit, which were often automatic responses to the certain stimuli which existed in the old surrounding that you lived in. A new environment also forces you to be more conscious of your actions and more aware of them, making it harder to fall back into your old autopilot mode where you did the bad habits without your even conscious awareness. which gives you a chance to form a new healthier habits and a new person entirely yourself without the weight of the previous behaviors. When you're in the same setting every day, your brain tends to operate on autopilot, often repeating the same self-sabotaging behaviors without much of a thought. But changing your surroundings, you disrupt this routine in yourself and create a space for new healthy habits to take its root. The unfamiliarity of new environment forces you to pay closer attention to your actions, making it harder to fall back into your mindless behaviors that you did. Without the physical reminders of your old habits, like couch where you often watch too much television, or a desk where you procrastinated, your brain is free from those associations, allowing you to focus more clearly on forming a new routines that better align with your goals. And this was it, the final step to take before getting on self improvement. Now you're all set in your journey. Wish you luck on it.